Hey guys, welcome back. Tisha here, back for another Married to Medicine recap. This is season 12, episode 7, Boots on the Ground. This episode got so chaotic towards the end that I found myself looking at everybody involved annoyed because I feel like the group is very bad with calling people out when they're wrong and they only want to look at different things. I feel like a plethora of people were wrong during this episode, and I'm going to call it out the way that I see it, and I look forward to seeing what your opinions are. So we begin the episode as usual with a montage, and we see, what do we see? We see Brandy working at the office. We see Toya in her car with her sons as they talk about the fact that they're creating a rap, or one of them created a rap using Chat GPT. And then we see Dr. Jackie with a patient, right? So we pan to Angel's new home, beautiful home from what we can see. Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Mimi, and Quad are in attendance over there. When did Mimi and Heavenly get so close? I wondered about that as I watched this episode, because I know that Quad talked about her and Mimi being close, but when did Mimi and Heavenly get close? Anyways, um, and how far is Angel from the other ladies? Because Dr. Heavenly tells us, as long as it took for me to get here, I could have found my son. I was like, what? I don't know why that joke tickled me. Anyways, so they start talking about how good the family reunion was. And that's when we pan over to seeing Toya, Brandy, Dr. Contessa, and Dr. Simone. And they're meeting up at a restaurant. Now, Toya tells Dr. Contessa not only did she miss the reunion, but she missed Heavenly showing up with her brother. Dr. Contessa wonders if there was a DNA test. And Toya's like, I wonder the same thing. Well, we find out that there wasn't, because back at Angels, I think it was Quad had asked, like, would you be willing to do a DNA test? And she's like, yeah, I would be willing to do one as long as he is. I feel like they should do a DNA test. I think that Dr. Heavenly should have done that before even introducing her brother to these ladies. Y'all, I've said this before. I feel like DNA tests should be mandatory when a child is born, whether you're married or not, just because there are so many people out here who are looking for family, who may not know who their parents are. And I feel like it's messed up when you have these older people who just don't know things. And it may cause problems for some families, but if you act right in the first place, you wouldn't have to worry about that. I know someone, and I don't want to be too specific about it because I'm not trying to tell his business, but I have a friend that did not find out that the man who is his father, because that's what he calls him, was not his biological father until he was well in his 20s. And he found out from another sibling, and it broke his heart because he felt lied to by his mom and by his siblings, because a lot of them knew and he did not. Think about that, right? So I feel like DNA should just be done. Definitely in this instance, because you just never know. There are people, I used to watch Maury all the time, and there were people who look like these kids, and it was, you are not the father. So just make sure. So she then, Heavenly starts talking about her campaign. She's doing her official launch, and she wants the other ladies to be in attendance. She wants to encourage people to vote and give a voice to people who haven't had one. I think that is awesome. But Heavenly, you got to revamp everything about yourself, because what works on this platform will not work in politics. And a lot of people who may be interested in looking into you are going to type in your name. They're going to type in Dr. Heavenly Kinds and see all of the crap that you've done on this show, and it's going to bite you in the butt. So she's going to have a rally the ladies agree to come. I put in here once again, Heavenly should not be a friend of. I feel like Heavenly is bringing a lot to this show, even though some of it I feel like she kind of stirring up some stuff. Heavenly brings a lot to this show that some of the main cast members don't even bring. So Angel brings back up the subject of the reunion, and she's like, you know what, Dr. Heavenly, I want to kind of thank you because when I introduced you to my friend Dr. B, I think his name is Bernard. I appreciate the fact that you kind of approached him on that big sister tip, because there's other people that I introduced him to and they weren't cool. Other people being Toya. Um, I like Toya, but Toya, in my opinion, like Heavenly, often has a big mouth and she doesn't know when to be quiet. So she's like, Toya outed me in front of that man, right? Talking about how she was supposed to hook me up with somebody else. And the girls are like, what? So Quai says, oh yeah, she broke the girl code. You don't say that in front of another man. She's like, I don't care if Angel wanted it to be hooked up or not. I don't care if Angel was hooking up with 25 men. You don't say that. My personal opinions are Angel is single. She doesn't owe anyone anything, especially not Toya. So Angel says she's now looking at Toya differently because she doesn't feel like Toya's a girl's girl for doing that. Angel, I wish you would have said something to Toya about that rather than just telling these girls. I get that this is TV, but I feel like if you would have said it to Toya first, I would have like looked at it a little bit differently. But yeah, because just last week you was defending Toya against Heavenly, and now here you are. Like, it didn't take much for you to switch it up. So at the restaurant, Toya lets the girls know, what she said. You wanted me to hook you up with someone, and she said that in front of the other guy. So all the girls are like, what? They can't believe that Toya said that. And I don't know why you all are surprised, because Toya doesn't have any coof. Like, she's shown it time and time again. So Toya feels away. She says, don't play her, because she was gonna hook her up with one of her family members. Toya, you acting like that, like she went out with your family member, went to the restaurant, said, I'm yours only, and that she played him. She wasn't playing you. She's a single girl. It's fine for her to date whomever she wants to. She's single. She hasn't even met the supposed guy that you have for her. But I personally feel like I wouldn't want my friend and or associate to deal with anyone in my family like that anyways. I'm not saying I don't want my friends to date my family members, but I feel like if it were to happen, because it has happened before, there are a lot of things that have to be established, because 9 times out of 10, if things go awry, I'm going to choose my family over you. Sorry, not sorry, depending on what the situation. No, I'm not even going to say depending on what the situation is. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to choose my family over you. So Contessa's like, Simone, I was going to have you, look up Angel's address so we could just pop over there. And they laugh or whatever. So now they're talking about, Simone being in people's business. And Simone smiles like it's cute. Quai says she has never looked up any of her friends' information like that, nor will she. I'm the same way. The only time I told you all, I didn't even look up my grandma's home until after my grandmother passed. And it was just more so along the lines of, my grandmother bought that house when I was 10 years old. And I wonder how much they feel like it's worth now. The house is so old. There's been renovations and all the other stuff. But the house has been in my, it was my grandmother's house. The house has been in the family for so long. We're just going to say that. The house has been in the family for so long that when you go to look up the home, they don't know anything about inside of that home, because technology has changed over the years. They just have an image of the outside of the home. They don't know about the renovations. They don't know about all that she's done in there. They know nothing. So I look at the value and I'm like, it's probably worth even more than this, because so many things have been done to this home, and because it's in a nice part of New York, it's in the suburbs, and because of the area, like she's surrounded by doctors and professionals and even some, Congress people. Like, her home is beautiful, right? But that's the only time. And my grandmother passed a year. That's when I looked it up, a year ago. So it just goes to show you, how different things are. So she's like, I've never done that. So Heavenly's like, look, I'm gonna tell y'all this. You cannot ask Quad about her money. You shouldn't ask anybody about their money. It's none of your business. In real life, do people do that? I don't do that. I've never asked one of my friends how much they've made, nor do I volunteer my business because it's my business. I remember when I was engaged and we got to talking about, finances and stuff like that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't even have one to tell him. I didn't even want to halfway tell him. Is that wrong of me? Maybe. It's getting dark, y'all, so I'm gonna get off the screen. All right. So Heavenly then is like, Simone just needs to focus on her family and what they are doing. If she would have just said that, then that would have been fine. But Heavenly has a tendency to go too far. Basically, if you would have said Simone just needs to focus on herself, that would have been fine. So Dr. Contessa suggests that they do a girls trip. The ladies in that scene are down with it, even though they know it's probably going to be some mess because everybody's not really getting along. So we jump to the campaign announcement day. Quad is helping to put things together. And I was like, why is Quad out there putting stuff together? Why does she look like she's running this? But then we find out she is the campaign manager. So her son, Zach, is there. I don't know what the real story is behind Heavenly and her oldest son, but I love the way her younger son is always where he's supposed to be or where he's needed. You can just tell that there's a different dynamic with them. I think that he's more appreciative. The few times that we saw the older son, he seemed a little like, I don't really want to be up here, but I'm filming just because y'all up here and y'all kind of want me to. And like he was closer to his father than to Heavenly. But you can just tell that she's just happy to see him there. So the ladies start to arrive, and Jackie lets us know, like, look, politics is the big leagues. This isn't the Yo Mama circle, and she hopes her friend remembers that. So the event is in a parking lot with, I guess it overlooks like one of the Capitol buildings. I don't know because it's a real nice building in the backdrop, but they're on asphalt in a parking lot where there is no shade and people seem like they're hot. So Heavenly is at the podium and Heavenly is telling people like, hurry up. I told you to move to the front. She's being Heavenly. You are in this setting where you are a potential person who is running for office. I need you to put your professional hat on and stop being the way that you're being. So she's at the podium and she starts by speaking on her son going to jail and how at the ages of 23, between 23 and 27, so many Black boys don't return home when they're put into similar situations that her son was in. And I heard her speaking, and even though this event happened a few years ago, that is such a scary thought because it is true. I am the mother of a Black son, and I have witnessed some things that have broken my heart, not just things that have happened to him. Hey, not even things that have happened to me, but just things with his friends or with people that we know. And I have told my son, I had that talk with my son when my son was in like 5th grade about the importance of complying, even if you are feeling like you are being unjustly accused of something. You're going to comply and do what the officer says, and we will fight this thing once you are back in the safety of this home. And it just goes back to showing how important it is for you to have these types of conversations with your kids, because like all it takes is one little mistake. Like we've seen the videos, we've seen the things that have been put out there, and there's enough things going on in this world. You don't want to have to be concerned about that too. So Toya, in my opinion, isn't feeling it. And I feel like Toya should have stayed home. I don't know what all was being said, but a few different people said that Toya was making comments. So I'm assuming that she was making comments that were overheard by other cast members while Heavenly was up there talking as well. But Heavenly, to be fair, like Simone later said, you need to get used to that. You can't be in a political arena and think that you are not going to have people who aren't going to say negative things about you. They're going to come at you even harder than they would have come at other people. So Dr. Heavenly gets to the point where she's like, I'm thankful for this, everybody's support, because everyone but one person is supporting me. And I guess she said that because of some of the stuff that Toya was saying, because even Dr. Mimi said Toya was making certain remarks in the audience. But I wish you would have left that part out. For those of you who support me, thank you. For those of you who don't, I hope that I can show you that I am the person that you should be choosing to represent Georgia. Like, there's a better way that she could have done that, a more professional way. So Toya tells us she's not to be about to be bullied into a vote, nor should you be. But you shouldn't have came. So the event is over. Dr. Simone shows up late, but she kind of has an idea of what she missed, because Toya was sending her like notes and a play-by-play of the situation. So in my opinion, so that Simone could be messy. So this is the first time the ladies are seeing that Heavenly is really doing this. Like, this is not just Heavenly playing, she's really going to do this. So Dr. Contessa approaches Heavenly, and I like the way that Dr. Contessa handled this. Dr. Contessa did this the way that I would expect for women who are so-called friends and or associates of Heavenly to do this. So she's like, okay, so you're really doing this. Why quad? So she's like, I want to be sure that you made the right choice, and Quad being your campaign manager, because I want people to take you seriously. So Heavenly's like, I'm sure, Quad is smart. She's very capable and she gets things done. I respect it. This isn't a game. People already aren't going to be taking her seriously because these are women who are on this show. So if you do it, Contessa's trying to tell you, like, make sure you come correct. So she lets her know, like, Contessa, I do take this seriously. I don't know what was cut out, but something that Heavenly said resonated with Dr. Contessa, because she next tells us that Heavenly kind of won her over. She has her, her stuff with her, but Heavenly is very smart and she's a great businesswoman. And as a result of that, she will have her vote. So she then looks at Heavenly and she's like, look, anything that you need, any help that you need, let me know. And Heavenly is like, you already are doing more than enough. I watched this moment with them and I found myself smiling, because even though Heavenly has her crap, Dr. Contessa has her crap. Heavenly went too far in bringing up some things and putting it out to the internet. Contessa went too far last season when they went on their girls trip and she was ready to fight Heavenly and said all the different things about her daughter not liking her and everything else. These two, at their core, as flawed as they are in their friendship, I do feel like they care about each other, and it comes out in the most oddest of times. So we go from that to Dr. Mimi approaching Brandy, wanting to know if she's going to endorse Dr. Heavenly. So Brandy's like, look, I'm really into politics and I need to know more, because she didn't really address enough of the political stuff for me. I need to know more before I say that. I want to know who she is and how she goes about things. I think that was fair. I think that should have been the end of it. But Mimi, for whatever reason, was going a little hard in this. Y'all tell me what you think. So Dr. Mimi feels like Brandy is saying that because of the way that Toya was acting during the speech. Brandy's like, I don't know what Toya was doing, but whatever Toya was doing, that was Toya. That wasn't me. It's clear to me that Mimi ain't feeling Toya. And I think that she hasn't been feeling Toya since she got tossed out of her house, right? So Dr. Mimi tells her, like, look, I'm just telling you to be careful about who you align yourself with, because Toya was being very negative during that speech and saying things. And I sometimes feel like, Brandy is up Toya's butt, especially after the way that she treated us at her home. So Brandy's like, look, I don't need your diagnosis. Why are you talking to me? Get away from me. I know that Mimi was wrong in this. I don't feel like she should have even said all that to Brandy. But if I were Mimi and you constantly brought up my profession when I was just having a conversation with you, I would get irritated. I would. But at the same point, Mimi, you didn't need to say all of this. Like, there was no need for this, because now y'all are creating a scene. So Simone comes over and she's like, what's going on? So Mimi repeats what she said. And Brandy is standing her ground and she steps up kind of to Mimi like, what do you want to do? Like Brandy looked like she was ready to fight. That's my opinion. Tell me yours. I feel like it didn't need to be like that. Y'all aren't even into the thick of this whole thing yet with the whole political thing. And it's tacky. Yeah, it's not a good look. So Brandy feels like the group has divided at this point, and it has, but it's because you all keep having opinions on things that don't concern you. And even though you're trying to act like you ride the middle, your actions speak louder than your words. So next we see Dr. Jackie at the office, and Dr. Simone comes by for their, their lunch date. Um, Dr. Simone tells Dr. Jackie that she's gonna drop the OB and just focus on the GYN because she's burnt out, which means she's not gonna be delivering babies anymore. When I heard this, I was like, I don't know if I would want to still have her as a doctor. If I were a pregnant woman and you tell me you don't want to deliver babies anymore, if I'm like early on in my pregnancy, so say I'm like 2 months and she decides that in another 3 months she's not going to be delivering babies anymore, I would feel away because I know for me personally, because I had a different team with me being high risk, I hated the fact that my OBGYN was not the person who delivered my baby. I just didn't like it because even though the man who delivered my baby and the medical team was very knowledgeable because I was high risk and I had a whole special team anyways in the first place. There's a different, I just feel better about having it be a one-stop shop. But that's me. And understand, I don't have a one-stop shop for everything. I'm just saying when I gave birth, I wanted a one-stop shop, but I couldn't get one and it bothered me. But I'm sure Simone is going to give her people, time to know what she's doing. So she feels like this is her first step in getting herself back. I said, okay, when she puts it like that, I can't do nothing but respect that. All right. So Dr. Jackie wants to know if she told Cecil like that she's tired and stuff. And she's like, I told him that I'm tired. It is clear that Simone respects Cecil more than he respects her because she often seems to tell him things and before she does it when he does not do that himself. So she tells us as she's sitting on the couch that in 2018, Cecil left his corporate job. And when he left that job, that big check that he got with that job left as well. So since 2018, she has been the primary breadwinner. This is why I said I did not like him saying that they will continue to pay for college because they got it. Because do you all have it or does she have it? It seems to me like she is the one who has it. And I get it that more recently, he's a realtor, but I don't know what that's looking like right now because he didn't even do his property for his sons. He had somebody else come in and do that. So what is that really looking like for Cecil? So she tells us that being the primary breadwinner in their home has made her resentful. I think that Jackie may be the primary breadwinner in her home as well, but that is what she signed up for. I don't know if it's always been that way, but I feel like that's been a thing for a while. So she tells Jackie, she's like, look, the sex is good, takes me a little longer, but I'm still wet. And, I'm still having my orgasms. And you would never know based on that we're having problems at our home. So Jackie's like, you need to, find a way to have fun. When y'all go out, y'all have fun. She's like, do we have fun? So she lets Jackie know basically that she's not really feeling Cecil. Like she says she don't even want to go have fun with him. She wants to live out the remainder of her life the way that she sees fit. So she tells Jackie, like, look, I don't want to live with someone that doesn't feed me emotionally. Someone that is so stuck and so stubborn that he can't see past himself. I don't want to financially cover all of those men, is what she tells us in confessional. She doesn't want to financially cover those boys anymore. And if she has to leave Cecil behind, so be it. So Jackie's like, you sound like you're heading for divorce. And she's like, is that the worst thing? How many times have we heard Simone get to this point? Some version of this, of her being tired. Transparent moment. I overstand Simone when she's saying that she isn't being emotionally fed. It is a very, very lonely feeling when you feel that lack and your mate, your partner, the person that you love is content with the way things are while you've already expressed your needs and they aren't doing anything to try to rectify the situation. I think that Simone needs to take time for herself and find out if Cecil is what she really wants. And if she decides to go, she doesn't need the other ladies to talk her out of it at this time. Don't talk her out this time like you did the last. Support her in whatever it is that she decides and keep it moving. Because is it worth it for your friend to always be looking like she's struggling and all this other stuff? Now, I hope that Cecil don't try to take all the ladies' money, but I just feel like it's not worth it. So let's get to Angel. We find out that Angel, or we're reminded, Angel is an RN, and we find out that she is the owner of a fashionable scrub line. So she came up with it because she got tired of these shapeless basic scrubs. So she's going to be having an event for her line, and we jump to the event. So the ladies all start to arrive. I love that Mimi was actually feeling the little bit that was already out there. She was feeling like the material and noticing certain things, like she was actually considering maybe making a purchase or something. I was confused though by all the attire because some women looked like they were going to like a formal function, others looked like they were about to go like play at the park. Like it was a whole bunch of stuff going on. Quad even came in scrubs. I actually thought that the scrub thing was cute. If all of them had different scrubs and then Angel would have came out with her fashionable scrubs, that would have been a statement too. So Simone starts talking to Dr. Heavenly about her campaign and how, she's like, I told Heavenly she's going to have to work on converting people if she wants them to endorse her. I don't understand why we're talking about this now. So she brings up the notes that Toya, her words, so graciously sent her. And in my opinion, this was Simone being messy. Simone likes to be messy and act like she's not being messy and then call out everybody else for being messy. But Simone was being messy too. So Heavenly sits down because she knows this is about to be some mess. And Simone is like, you're sitting down already. And Toya's like, you got to stand up for debates, girl. So she's like, this ain't no debate. I said, okay, she's obviously going to wear a different shoe. Y'all are picking. So next thing she does out of everything that whatever notes Toya sent her is she decides that she wants to talk about the portion of Heavenly talking about people not supporting her. Simone, you weren't doing this because you wanted to bring good attention to Heavenly's debate or campaign. You were doing this because you felt a way about that thing and you wanted to cause some issues. So Toya says, I just feel like it was tacky. We need strong, respectful women that will lead Georgia in a good way. And you yelling at your event was tacky also, Toya, but we're not talking about that, are we? So Heavenly is like, look, I'm not about to do this. And she walks away. She's not about to talk about that whole campaign thing. Toya, it's clear you don't like her. It's clear you won't support her. You said that even before we even went to this whole event thing. So I felt like you shouldn't have went. And I felt like there's no point. Let's put it this way. Think about a political party that you may not like or a certain politician that you may not care for. Are you going to go to their campaign to hear what they have to say? I'm not, especially if they're on television. I may watch clips of it to see if I'm right in my thought process. I may even watch the debate to see what the person that I'm looking forward to voting for has to say. And if that's still going to be the way I'm going to go. But if I know for a fact the way Toya has been so adamant that she's not voting for Heavenly, then I'm not going to go. So Brandy, Toya, Contessa, Simone, and Dr. Mimi are standing near each other. And Simone looks at Dr. Mimi and she says, you're standing with our clique. So Mimi's like, I can leave. Simone, what are you doing? It's just real. Like Simone 1 minute wants to act like she's not, petty and childish and messy as some of the others. But the more that you hang out with Toya, the messier you get in Simone. And y'all can tell me your opinion. And it's okay if you disagree. But I'm just noticing that Simone is getting messier and messier. So Mimi's about to walk away because she's like, I can go. But Dr. Contessa is like, no. Like, what's the issue between you and Brandy? So Mimi repeats herself again. I just told Brandy that she needs to be careful about who she aligns herself with. Like, so Contessa's like, who? She goes like Toya. So Toya says, Mimi, you not our type of girl. You not our type of girl. You can go, blah, blah, blah. So Mimi tells us that Toya likes to put others down to lift herself up. Look at what she does with her own husband. This is not new information. We already have known this for a while, but the ladies here, they pick and choose when they want to go that route. So Angel comes down the stairs in her metallic silver dress, and they open the doors to her fancy, or the curtains to her fancy mannequins in scrubs. All of the women say that it looks good. It does look good. It does. I wish she came out wearing one. I really, really do. So you got Cecil looking like he's recording the thing. Not Cecil, Curtis looking like he's recording it. You got Cecil saying like, if Angel got him, then I would buy him. Yeah, y'all are doing too much. The ladies congratulate Angel. So Dr. Contessa tells the ladies, about she's sorry she wasn't at the family reunion. She don't know what all is going on, but she wants them to do a girls trip, and she hopes that they could work through whatever their issues are and just enjoy the trip. So Angel then asks Toya, like, what kind of friend are you? So Toya's like, huh? She's like, what kind of friend are you? Because you did some things to me that I felt were wrong. So Toya is confused. Angel's like, girl, we can talk about it later. Angel, it made no sense for you to mention that in front of all those ladies if you knew you weren't going to talk about it right then and there. It was pointless. So Toya is like, what type of friend I am, Simone? You can answer that. So Simone says she's loyal to the people that don't piss her off. We've seen Toya turn on other people and not be loyal. Like, as soon as I say Mariah, y'all get it. We've seen her have it out with Jackie. Like, she's had issues with other people. Just because y'all buddy now, like, anyways. No, let me not. Toya is loyal at times. I need to take that back. I'm getting a little too in my feelings just because I was irritated. Because I do still like Toya. But Toya, yeah, she's there to be messy. So Toya says, we can do a one-on-one. She then says, why are you bringing this up? So Angel's like, because I'm not fake. I'm not a fake friend. But Angel, you should have said something to her earlier, not now. So Heavenly leans into Simone and she's like, you're going to have to learn from that. So Simone's like, I'm good. That's the pot calling the kettle black is what she tells us. Quaden says, well, the people say you were trying to look at my VIN number for my Rolls Royce, and I want to know why. So now they start going at it. And Simone's like, I don't look up VIN numbers. I look up real estate. And Quiet acting like she ready to fight Simone, talking about some hoe and blah, blah, blah. And and I'm like, what in the world? But to be fair, that's not all the way true, Simone, because you did tell Dr. Heavenly that because you admitted it to Toya. And then you told us in confessional that you shouldn't have told Heavenly that because you knew you should have known she was going to say something. So Toya says, why did you tell Heavenly that? You know better than that. So Quad is going off. King is in the corner with Steve and them counting down because he knows there's about to be an explosion. Quad says, you just mad because I live well. She is. Simone is upset. I don't think Simone is jealous, but I do think Simone is quite envious of the fact that Quad has managed to do well for herself without having to put in as much work as Simone has. But to be fair, Simone, part of the reason why you're having to do so much is because the leeches that surround you. So Simone says, yeah, you live well in a lot of debt. Let's pull credit card reports because I don't have all that debt. Simone, how do you know about her finances if all you do is look at real estate? You're telling on yourself, or are you talking out the side of your neck? So this is when Toya wants to know why she even told Heavenly. Simone said, well, I'm not talking to her anymore, so I'm not going to tell her anything anymore. And she's yelling. So Angel is telling Quad to calm down because they are better than that. And friend, like, don't do this, friend, yada, yada, go. Contessa is walking around still trying to make sure all the girls are still coming. She tells them, like, save the fussing for the trip. Angel starts passing out scrub goodie bags while people are still going at it. They are fussing and cussing and creating all scenes. And it's not just them there. There are other people there as well. So after getting the goodie bags, somebody takes a picture and Dr. Heavenly goes to put her arm around Simone. And Simone's like, Simone is over it because she's mad that Quad told on her. Not Quad, Heavenly told on her to Quad. So she pushes her hand away because she's mad. I get that you upset, Simone, but I kind of wish you just kind of like, instead of push her hand away, but whatever. Heavenly won't about to fight you. So Dr. Simone is like, go away with all the fake ish. I'm not taking a picture with you. I said, oh boy, here we go. But at the same point, Heavenly, you cannot be surprised that Simone don't want to take a picture with you. So Heavenly then takes it too far. I'm calling you out, Heavenly. She goes too far because she start yelling, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me because of your home life. What does that have to do with anything, Heavenly? What in the world does that have to do with anything? So Simone is like, just because you faking your life and stuff, Heavenly's like, my man is a doctor. I win. Do you? Because I got to call you out too, Heavenly. There was no need for you to say all of that. Why do you always have to go to the pits of hell with the low blows when you get mad? And then you feel away when the ladies don't want to deal with your ass, but you keep on saying stuff that is just too low. Simone was already going low enough when it came to her and Quad. Quad didn't even need to bring that up. It's a freaking VIN number, like she said. She gonna look it up or she's not. What does it matter? Is it messed up? Yeah. Do I want friends looking up how much this costs and how much that costs? No, I don't. But apparently it's a running thing that's what Simone does. Now back to you, Heavenly. You don't want anybody talking about daddy and your kids. So stop talking about their and making inferences and yeah, because that was messed up. So now they're yelling at each other. And I get why Simone didn't want to take the picture. So Simone tells us friends don't take your secrets, share them with other people, and dog you behind their back and then try to take a picture. True, but all of you have dogged each other behind your backs on this show. We've seen it. It's bad. So Simone is shouting, bring it, itch, like Heavenly ain't trying to fight you. Heavenly will run her mouth, but Heavenly ain't trying to fight nobody. So she's yelling in this establishment, bringing itch, as her husband is just sitting there, like standing there, shaking his head. And you got Toya saying, yeah, vote for Heavenly. Heavenly leaves. Angel is yelling at them to calm down or leave. She goes over to Dr. Simone and she's like, look, I'm not bringing you guys to any more of my events if you're going to act up. Like, we can't have all of that. So Simone's like, cool, don't bring anybody then. And why you didn't say anything to Quad or Heavenly? To be fair, she did say something to Quad, but all of them should have been called out because all of y'all were acting tacky in this event. All of you all were acting like you had no coof. It's like, it's sad. So Angel's like, this isn't the way to conduct yourself. This ain't it. She ends up wanting to dead it and she walks off. It's just, yeah, I feel like it's sad that they messed up her event like that. Y'all need to not have certain conversations when you go to people's events. Like, keep it to the part of the event. But I guess that's what producers like. That's all I got. If there's something that I missed that you want to talk about when it came to this show, feel free to put it down below. Who do you think acted up the most? I'm going to say acted up the most in this episode. And do your girl a favor, because I don't think I said it at the beginning. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. We are on the road to 4,000. I have goals for 2026, and expanding the fam is one of those goals. I would love to do more than be able to pay my cell phone bill for myself and my son with this. And some months I can't even do that because some months I don't even get a check. My point is, every like, every comment helps get me in the algorithm, and it means a lot to me. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, say it with me now. Peace.